from the line across the ocean to the land beyond the
This is the global news on Atlantic Television Network. First, the headlines. Rivers CP speaks on fight against criminals disturbing peace. Court adjourns ruling against Yahaya Bello to May 10. FG stops admissions for less than 18-year-old candidates. NNPCL targets crude oil production in Awoba field operation. UN says armed clashes displaced over 50,000 persons in Ethiopia. Crystal Palace links Rafael Onyedika chase. John Legend says Donald Trump is a core racist. A scintillating evening to you, and thank you for joining us on the Global News once again. My name is Angel Ngokoma Angelic Angel. First, now we are looking at the details of the stories. Rivers State Police Command says it has achieved notable success in its fight against criminal activities within the state with the arrest of our 4 individuals involved in vandalism and armed robbery. The Rivers State Commissioner of Police, CP Olatunjiri Wandiso, who disclosed this in Port Harcourt, expressed concern over vigilante members' involvement in criminal enterprises as well as the command's commitment to apprehend all individuals involved in criminal activities, regardless of the affiliations or positions within law enforcement structures. A statement by the State Police PPRO Grace Ringe Koko said among those apprehended is the local government, the local vigilante commander in Ishopo, Ododo Kingsley Obubochi, along with 3 other executive members of the local vigilante group on 26th March 2024, while the vigilante group's executives, namely Mark Prince, Destiny Onuibo, and Azubike Olo, utilized their positions to assess the group's armory, which they subsequently used in perpetrating criminal acts. The statement also said a sequence of events leading to their arrest unfolded when a scrap dealer known as Prince approached Ododo during a vigilante group member's burial. Prince, presenting himself as a businessman from Omagwa, proposed a joint venture involving the dismantling and sale of a mast belonging to Globalcom, located on a secluded road in Elele, adding that during negotiations, Ododo agreed to provide firepower and monitoring during the operation, with Prince's team responsible for the mass dismantling, and fee of 500,000 naira was set for Ododo's participation. The command said operations commenced as planned, with Ododo and his accomplices providing cover and supervision while their criminal activities were disrupted when they were intercepted by a police patrol unit during the operation. And items recovered from the arrested individuals include 3 automatic pump action guns, 1 live cartridge, 1 pilot, 1 machete, and 2 quick Kyoto-link motorcycles without registration numbers. Analysts have called on Governor Simla Laye Fubara to a media chat for an open breakdown of the increased current IGR of the state. Speaking on Wish FM live program, a political analyst, Obinuchi Oka, lauded the transparency of Governor Fubara on the disclosure of state's current financial status and further tasked the governor, Sim Fubara, on a detailed breakdown on the achievements so far. In view of the development, Obinuchi Oka identified that an increase in internal generated revenue will affect the economy of the state positively, as well as contributing to the development of the state and livelihood of the Rivers people.
Everybody should be happy that the IGR of our state has moved from say 14 billion to where we are now. That's a good one. It's going to affect the economy of the state positively, and also add to the development of the state. But for now, we need to have detail of what the governor did, so before we commend him or now know whether it is political or not. So the governor should please
This is coming after the River State Governor Sasim Nala Yefubara said that the state under his watch generates between 26 to 27 billion naira monthly as internally generated revenue. Other than that, his administration operates a transparent accounting system in its deployment of scarce resources and providing essential services to the people. Appeal Court in Abuja has imposed a cumulative fine of 400,000 naira on all the Progressive Congress governorship candidates in the 2023 election in Bayelsa State, Timi Pre Silva, for filing an interlocutory appeal that wasted the time of the court and the respondent. The 400,000 naira fine is in favor of the Independent National Electoral Commission and 3 other respondents comprising the People's Democratic Party, including Governor Doyediri and his Deputy Senator Lawrence. The appellate court panel headed by Justice H.A. Braka with Justices A. B. Mohammed and P. Obiora as members dismissed the appeal which sought dissolution of the Bayelsa State Governorship Election Petition Tribunal, while Sevilla and the APC had filed an application to withdraw their appeal which sought to compel the chairman and members of the Bayelsa State Election Petition Tribunal to recuse themselves from the tribunal. The APC governorship candidate had earlier written to President of the Court of Appeal, while Justice Monica Dombanmense alleged bias against the tribunal, but the application was dismissed and the panel was directed to continue with the petition before it. The APC and its candidates then filed an interlocutory appeal against the decision of the election tribunal, refusing the recuse itself from continuing hearing of their petition and for amendment of the record of proceedings. Other than that, on Monday, the appellant filed a notice of withdrawal of the appeal when the matter was heard, and the appeal court panel dismissed it and awarded courts against Siva and the APC. House of Representatives Committee on Defense will on Thursday hold an investigative hearing into the incident leading to the gruesome murder of 17 military personnel in the Okwama community of Ugelu South local government area of Delta State. The investigative hearing will be held at the Government House Annex in Warwick South local government area to hear the circumstances surrounding the death of military men of the 181 Amphibious Battalion, including a Lieutenant Colonel, 2 majors and a captain that were on a peacekeeping mission in Okwama to Okwama community when they were ambushed and killed by hoodlums on March 14. A statement jointly signed by the House Committee on Defense, Baba Jimmy Benson, and the clerk of the House Committee on Defense, Musa Aliyu, called on members of the public and interested parties to provide the House Committee with useful information on the incident during the hearing. The House of Reps Committee on Defense said it is looking forward to a robust engagement and meaningful contributions from all stakeholders. Independent National Electoral Commission says it has released the final list of candidates for the upcoming governorship election in Edo State. The list has 17 candidates, 16 of whom are males, while 1 is a female, while INEC declared that electioneering campaigns will begin on Wednesday, April 24, 2024, ahead of the September 21, 2024 election. And after the initial primaries, INEC had previously published the personal details of the governorship candidates and their running mates across the state and local government offices in Edo State. INEC, through its National Commissioner and Chairman of the Information and Voter Education Committee, Sam Olumeku, said some political parties organized new primaries to substitute their earlier selected candidates before the April 15, 2024 deadline. INEC also issued a stern reminder to all candidates, agents and supporters to conduct their campaigns with civility and decorum in strict adherence to the provisions of the law. Cross River State Governor Senator Basi Otu has reorganized the State Public-Private Partnership Council to ensure better management of the state's assets to achieve improved economic fortunes for the state and its residents. Governor Otu, who reconstituted the State PPP Council in his office, said his administration is commitment to turning around the fortunes of the state and creating avenues for employment opportunities. Other than that, The PDP council so inaugurated is saddled with the responsibility to coordinate the adoption of the type of partnership that will ensure that the private sector receives return on investment without the state losing its right of ownership of the assets. The Cross River State governor also said the government resources were always very limited and could not provide for all needs of the people, stressing that the public-private partnership option to bridge the gap as a catalyst in participatory governance. He spreads confidence in the personalities that make up the state's PPP Council and assured them of its administration's commitment to due process applications, noting that the state is in dire need of some already developed infrastructure that requires private expertise for maximum. The Secretary of the State Government, Professor Anthony Owen Eno, earlier remarked that Cross River Blaze, the Cross River, we're sorry for that, make sure. Professor Anthony Owen Eno earlier remarked that Cross River blazed the trail nationally since 2008 when it came up with a public-private partnership policy, which is in line with Cross River State Law number 6 of 2010. Suspected rampaging youth have set fire to houses, motorcycles, household equipment and warehouse worth several millions naira in the Oku Urata community in the Owerri North local government area of Imo State over the killing of a youth in the area identified as Friday in Joko by members of the vigilante group operating in the community. An indigene of the community said that the youth accused the leader of the vigilante group, Emmanuel Ababuro, as an officer of the State Command of the Nigeria Correctional Service of masterminding Joko's killing. Angered by his death, the youth stormed his house and beat his son severely and set his wife's shop ablaze, as well as his house, car, motorcycles, and the household equipment. He also said policemen have arrived in the area and are doing everything possible to restore normalcy, while the public relations officer of the Imo State Police Command, ASP Henry Okoye, who confirmed the incident, also said that the State Commissioner of Police, Danjuma Abuke, has sent men to the scene for the rescue mission, and the fighters and the firefighters had been drafted into extinguish the inferno. Okoye equally said that an investigation into the incident had been launched by the command with the aim of bringing the offenders to justice. Enugu State Police Command has arrested 6 suspects accused of engaging in a range of criminal activities, including one chance robbery, unlawful possession, and trafficking of suspected a tricycle and a church organ keyboard. A statement by the State Police Public Relations Officer Daniel Ndukwe on his X-handle said the suspect and his cohort who escaped operating the recovered tricycle are alleged to have robbed their female victim and the passenger of her iPhone and bank's ATM card at Kanwa Street, Independence Layout in Enugu State. The statement also said the suspect and gang members were given a hot chase by law-abiding citizens, which caused the keke to skydive the road into a fence, which led to his arrest while others escaped. Ekiti State government, after a meeting with critical stakeholders, has resolved the confusion brewing over the selection of a new Raromi of Araromi Ekiti in Ijero local government area of the state. The town has been embroiled in turmoil over the emergence of Prince Adebomi Babalola as Raromi elect, with some contenders and interested stakeholders raising eyebrows over the process through which he was elected. At a troubleshooting parley held at the office of the Deputy Governor Afuye, the government clarified that it has no preferred candidate, but only accepted the selection and nomination made by the concerned ruling house and kickmakers after IFA consultation. Afuye also said blackmailing the government and accusing it of nepotism in the matter was grossly misplaced, stressing that Governor Biodun Oyebanji was committed to equity, fairness and transparency in chieftaincy matters across all towns in the state, and assured the Araromi indigene The contenders for the stool and other critical stakeholders to hold the firm believe that the government will do what is just and right to all parties, as well as operate stringently in line with the Rarumi Chieftaincy Declaration. She urged the contenders to perceive this election process as a no victor, no vanquished contest, but as one done to promote unity and oneness among Araromi Ekiti and his people, while appealing to those who were making caustic and inflammatory comments on the matter to disease and give room for the already tense atmosphere in the community to subside. Suspected trigger-happy policeman, popularly known as Sahid Saz, allegedly shot a core member identified as Iyanda Damilola to death in Obomosho local government area of Oyo State today, Tuesday. Sahid is an operative of the Special Anti-Robbery Squad of the Oyo State Police Command and is widely recognized by the students of the Ladoke Akintola University of Technology, Obomosho, for assault, most especially Yahoo boys. This is coming after in 2020 he was heavily criticized on social media platforms after he reportedly posed with a white Mercedes-Benz car he claimed to have bought, while the deceased brother Iyanda Oluwafemi, who graduated from Lasotec, said he sustained wounds from bullets shot by Sahid. Oluwafemi, a graduate of Accounting and Management Sciences from the institution, said the disease was his brother and that he had attended his convocation, after which they headed for an after party the same day where he was shot dead by the trigger-happy corps. When contacted, the State Police Public Relations Officer SP Adewale Osi Fesho said an investigation was ongoing on the matter. Oyo State Independent Electoral Commission says it will begin a 2-day training for an ad hoc staff ahead of Saturday's local government election in the state. The commission also said the distribution of sensitive materials will commence on Thursday, April 25, with local government areas on the Oke-Ogun axis, while other local government areas in Ibadan, the state capital, are to receive last. While the OSEC had fixed Saturday, April 27, 2024 for the council's pool in the state. Its chairman Isiaka Olagunju, while addressing the electoral and assistant electoral officers, ward coalition officers, returning officers and supervisors in Ibadan and Oyo town respectively, and urged them to discharge their duties as expected. Olagunju, who described the trainees as partners in progress, also advised them to ensure that their conduct conforms with the electoral guidelines of the Commission and require your support and commitment to achieve a free, fair, transparent and credible election. All Progressive Congress Primary Election Appeal Committee for Ondo State says it has received 3 petitions challenging the victory of Ondo State Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa and the governorship primary conducted on Saturday through Sunday. The chairman of the Primary Election Appeal Committee, Mohammed Abubakar, who disclosed this during a press briefing in Akure, said that 3 petitions were received from Wale Akinterewa, Jimmy Udimayo and Wenda Edema. This is coming after Governor of Kogi State, Usman Ododo, who is the chairman of the Primary Election Committee, had in the early hours of Monday declared Aiyedatiwa as the winner of the Ondo APC primary election after pulling 48,460 votes across 18 local government areas of the state to defeat the 15 other aspirants. But ahead of the declaration, many of the aspirants had expressed dissatisfaction with the process, calling for its cancellation, while chairman of the Primary Election Appeal Committee said the development was not strange and that the party has an appeal committee to look into complaints emanating from primaries. Abubakar also said the committee will look thoroughly into the 3 petitions from the aggrieved aspirants. Federal High Court in Abuja has adjourned till May 10 for ruling in the suit filed by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission against the immediate past governor of Kogi State, Yahaya Bello. Bello is facing a 19-count charge bordering on money laundering, breach of trust and misappropriation of funds to the tune of 80.2 billion naira, while at the last hearing, Justice Emeka Nwite had adjourned full arraignment and ruling after Bello failed to show up in the court for his arraignment. On this ground, Justice Winter ordered the EFCC to serve a copy of the proof of evidence and charge against Bello on his counsel while he cited Section 382, 4 and 5 of the Administration of Criminal Justice Act 2015 and ordered that the counsel who had announced unconditional appearance for Bello will be one to receive the service of the charge. Abdul Wahab Mohammed, who last week had declared unconditional appearance for Bello, however, initially declined to accept the charge as he had instructed a junior lawyer in his team to receive it, while Justice Winter, however, insisted that he accept it, adding that the law allows for substituted means of service in a situation where it becomes practically impossible to effect personal service of a legal process on a defendant. Justice Winter held that this could be done by handing the same to either his counsel or any adult in his household, and the court cannot assume jurisdiction in the absence of effective service of the originating summon, stressing that service of any process of court on a defendant is fundamental to ensure jurisdiction. Some youth in Kogi State have protested against plans by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, to arrest former Governor Yahya Bello over alleged 80.2 billion naira fraud. The youth who gathered in their numbers barricaded the popular Lokoja-Abuja road, which caused gridlock on the highway. They protested under the auspices of the Coalition of Civil Society for Democracy and Africa Youth Coalition for Justice, accusing the anti-graft agency of witch hunting and victimizing the former governor, and called for caution and adherence to the rule of law on Bello's trial. Nasarawa State Police Command has arrested 3 suspected kidnappers in Maraba. A statement signed by the police public relations officer in Nasarawa, DSP Ramahan Nansil. The suspect contacted Idris and threatened to kidnap him if he did not pay 2 million naira. While Idris complied and dropped the money at a location specified by the suspect for fear of being kidnapped. He also said the suspect picked up the money and divided it among themselves, while the suspects allegedly conspired among themselves and placed a call across to one Ibrahim Idris of the same address, an uncle to one of the suspects. The PPRO also said the arrested suspects have confessed to the crime, and efforts are underway to apprehend another member of the syndicate who narrowly escaped arrest. Incorporated trustees of the Association of Local Government of Nigeria has appealed the judgment of a federal high court in Abuja, which affirmed that Kolade Alabi, the immediate past president of the association, is qualified to be president of the association. The Board of Trustees also filed a motion seeking the stay of execution of the judgment delivered by Justice Inyan Eku of the Federal High Court Abuja. Other than that, the association last year and dragged Alabi and 7 others to court. While in dispute, he maintained that Alabi was not qualified to be president when he could not emerge from one of the 774 local government councils in the country. In their originating summons filed by Bartholomew Opera, said Alabi is not eligible to be Algon president as he was not a local government chairman as contemplated by the 1999 Constitution, the Constitution of Algon, and the Supreme Court decision, which had touched on the dispute. He urged Justice Inyang Eko to uphold the removal of Alabi by neck and perpetually restrain him from further operating as such, among other reliefs. The appeal is predicated on 2 grounds, wherein the appellant argued that the learned trial judge erred in law when he delivered judgment marred with outdated technicality in law and lack of fair hearing to all parties in the suit. Also claimed that the learned trial judge erred in law when he delivered his judgment not in accordance with the provisions of Section 36(1) of the Constitution. Following comments by Abuja-based Chinese supermarket in Nigeria with the headquarters located along Airport Road, Abuja, of having a supermarket that Nigerians cannot enter nor buy goods from. This is coming after it was reported on social media that a Nigerian visited the supermarket and was stopped at the gate, refusing him entering the supermarket with the explanation that Nigerians are not allowed to enter. Atlantic Television Network correspondent who visited a China chamber in Abuja have the reports.
The China Chamber of Commerce in Nigeria, with the headquarters located along Airport Road, Abuja, is a chamber registered in Nigeria and filled with the Ministry of Commerce of China. It is a chamber that oversees China enterprise and business associations. Nigeria-China Chamber of Commerce members involve all large Chinese enterprise in Nigeria, involving oil and gas, infrastructure, manufacturing, communication, agriculture, mining, internet, and other field services. Since the establishment of the China Chamber of Commerce in Nigeria, it has been highly supported by the two governments serving Chinese enterprise in Nigeria, promoting economic and trade exchanges between the two countries and promoting exchanges in various fields between the two countries through forums, exhibitions, periodicals, cultural, sport activities, and other forms to promote Chinese products and Chinese culture. But for a few days now, there has been news on social media that one of the supermarkets inside the chamber is being restricted to Chinese and thereby refusing Nigerians from buying in the supermarkets. On Tuesday, 23rd of April, Atlantic Television Network find out that the supermarket has been closed down for further notice following the allegation of serving only the Chinese in Nigeria and the Nigerians working inside the chamber, while it was bound to Nigerians coming from outside to the chamber. According to the Assistant Facility Operator, Sanusi Shuaibu, who responded to the Atlantic Television Network via phone call, and some staffs of the chamber said the supermarket has never been restricted to anyone, adding that the owner of the supermarket is a tenant in the Royal House estate inside the chamber that do not have right to decide whether to sell for only Chinese and refuse selling for Nigerians.
This is the supermarket. So we are the facility operator. So the person that has this supermarket, as we are black, we used to come inside and buy things. But the rumor that we are hearing outside, we don't know, maybe it's true, because it's not true. You understand? Because we are buying things here. So maybe they went to the security to tell the security to not allow the black. It is between them. We don't know anything, you know. This is not the supermarket. This is owned by Chinese, but Chinese woman, yes. The supermarket is owned by Chinese woman.
No, to say the fact, I'm even surprised now. You understand? I'm surprised now because as I'm coming yesterday, I'm supposed to buy, I normally buy this exotic, or this 5 Alive, I normally buy here. I'm supposed to even buy outside when I'm coming yesterday. I thought that maybe when I come back, I will buy here. And I see crowd, say how come? They now tell me that they say the lady, that's the Chinese woman, Chinese ladies, it doesn't allow black to enter. I'm surprised because I normally buy it there. They even give me one name. We almost play together. If I just say Siam, they only call me Siam when they see me. So I buy something there. I don't know. I'm really surprised. If they have problem with maybe any agency, they should go and solve it. But now, I'm telling you the fact. We don't have problem. All of us will enter. I send my sister, I send my brother to buy here. We don't have problem.
Joseph Moses, ATN News, Abuja.
China General Chamber of Commerce has dismissed claims into the operation of a Chinese supermarket within the premises of the Royal Choice Estate Airport Road, Abuja. The Abuja-based Chinese supermarket had come under criticism for refusing to allow Nigerians to shop in its facility. The supermarket, situated at the China General Chamber of Commerce along Umar Musa Iradwa Road in Abuja, is acclaimed as a destination for Chinese cuisines and beverages, while Nigerians had expressed outrage over a discriminatory policy implemented by the Chinese supermarket, which restricted entry exclusively to its citizens and barred Nigerians. But reacting to the alleged discrimination in a statement by its counsel, Kui Guanzheng, the China Chamber of Commerce said that State House on both the supermarket and the commerce building was not entirely a supermarket, and clarified that the Real Choice Estate comprises an office complex and residential apartment. According to the statement, the residential area of the estate consists of private residents who adhere to security protocols in granting access to external visitors, and no individual was subjected to discrimination or denied access to the estate or supermarket to purchase groceries as widely speculated. Benin Gwari Emirate Progressive Union in Benin Gwari local government area of Kaduna State are weeping over the spate of banditry in the area. The union called on the government and the security agencies to do the needful to save lives and property. A statement by the group's chairperson, pharmacist Jemila Sani, frowned at the recent tragic attacks by armed bandits at Ungwan Danko and Ungwan Kanawa of Dongodawa Ward, resulting in the death of 23 persons, and commended the effort of the security personnel in dealing with the situation, but urged them to step up actions. The union urgently drew the attention of authorities to the recent surge in violent assault orchestrated by armed bandits in the Benin Gwari local government area of the state, saying that on Wednesday, April 17, 2024, Ungwan Danko and Ungwan Kanawa of Dongondawa Ward bore the brunt of a devastating attack, resulting in the tragic loss of 23 lives. According to the statement, the community of Bagoma, a suburb of Benin Gwari, is grappling with a burgeoning humanitarian crisis as women, children and the elderly are forced into displacement due to the persistent threat of attacks. Katsina State Working Committee of the All Progressive Congress has declared the official nomination fees for aspirants vying for the position of local government chairman and councillors in the forthcoming elections. The state deputy chairman of the APC, Alhaji Bala Abu Musawa, who discloses during a press briefing held at the Katsina Government House Banquet Hall, confirmed that the nomination fee for the local government chairmanship position has been set at 5 million naira. Also, while addressing reporters after a meeting involving the working committee, state executives as well as chairpersons and secretaries of the party from the 34 local governments, Musawa disclosed that aspiring councillors should be required to pay a fee of 1.5 million naira for their nomination forms. He also said all payments for the nomination forms must be made directly into the party's account. He further disclosed that the sale of nomination forms would commence from 1st to 4th of May 2024, while the Katsina APC Deputy Chairman said completed forms must be returned to the State Independent Electoral Commission by Thursday, May 9, 2024. Referring to the election timetable issued by the SIAC, the APC Deputy Chairman highlighted that the primary elections for Council Chairman are scheduled for Saturday, May 18, followed by councillorship primaries on Wednesday, and urged all contestants to adhere strictly to the election guidelines, particularly in relation to electioneering campaigns. Center for Democracy and Human Rights has ranked Kano State as the worst governed and the least performing state in the country since the new administration took over in May 2023. The center discloses in Abuja while unveiling its quarterly report on governance across the 18 states with new governors. Other than that, the assessment was made based on the transparency, accountability, quality of appointees, and impact of policies on the citizens of the 18 states. Speaking on behalf of the center, Ambassador Adebayo Lion Ogore said in Abuja that Kano ranked low for good governance, alleging that The current administration focused on political structures to the detriment of the people. Ex-Deputy Speaker, House of Reps, Honorable Emeka Ihedioha, has resigned from the People's Democratic Party, PDP, a party he says he has been associated with since its inception in 1998. Ihedioha, who ascribed himself as one of the founding members of the PDP, cited the party's inability to carry out internal reforms and provide credible opposition as the reasons behind his decision. A statement titled Resignation from the People's Democratic Party, Ihedioha reflected on his long-standing commitment to the party's development and transformation and expressed his disappointment with the party's recent trajectory, which he believes deviates from his personal beliefs. Despite his resignation, Ihedioha affirmed his commitment to contributing to the nation's democratic process and good governance and promised to offer his services towards the deepening of democracy and good governance in Nigeria. President of the Academic Staff Union of Universities, Professor Emmanuel Osodoke, has thrown his weight behind the proposition by the federal government to adopt 18 years as the entry age for admission into universities and other tertiary institutions of learning nationwide. He condemned the standard admission age currently set by most tertiary institutions in the country at 16 years, not minding if the candidate is certified as gifted. This is coming after the Minister of Education, Professor Tahir Maman, also accused underage students of being responsible for some of the problems being encountered in higher institutions. This is coming after in 2021, the Senate announced plans to amend the law establishing the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board to limit the age of a candidate sitting the UTME to 16 years and above, while the then Vice Chairman, Senate Committee on Basic Education, Senator Akon Eyakenyi, during the committee's oversight visit to JAM, said the development will prevent underage from participating in the examination to gain admission into Nigerian universities. Minister of Education, Professor Tahir Maman, while monitoring the ongoing Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination in Abuja, cautioned parents against pushing their children and was to match and advise parents to allow their children to attain some level of maturity to be able to better manage their affairs. Analysts has criticized the abuse of the nation's educational processes following the increase in admissions of candidates under the age of 18 into the university and other tertiary institutions of learning in the country. Reacting on Atlantic Society, Watch Public Affairs analyst Goodluck Edafe emphasized on the need for a proper education regulation in order to checkmate the enrollment of underage students in the university, polytechnics and the colleges of education as well.
The university compound today, you see very young, small boys and girls and all that, studying one course or the other. Do I use the word abuse? It's just an abuse of the process because, like you noted, there ought to be a minimum level of maturity of mind before, as human beings, we do certain levels.
In view of the nation's educational stability, Goodluck Edafe said maturity of the minds of students is vital to the learning process and can go a long way to reduce the rate of social vices and victimization across higher institutions of learning in the country.
So what are we saying here? Somebody need to attain certain level of age. The mind need to mature to a level. You don't just bring a child of 14 years carry into university because we are abusing everything now. It's not proper. Let the child grow to that certain level. Let the mind be a little bit developed. To some extent, when we say it's not just intelligence of mathematics, oh, the child is good in mathematics. The child can do social science or can do social study, can pass very well. Oh, he got 90%. That's not what we are discussing here. The mind needs to get to maturity, to
This is coming after the Minister of Education, Professor Tahir Maman, said the federal government is considering the adoption of 18 years as the entry age for admissions into universities and other tertiary institutions of learning. General Officer commanding a division of the Nigerian Army and commander of Joint Task Force on the Northwest Operation Hadarin Daji, Major General Godwin Mukut, has clarified that all the operations being carried out across the theater are being done professionally by the troops in order to minimize civilian casualties. General Mukut, who made the clarification in Sokoto while fielding questions from defense on tour of operations Hadarin Daji in the Northwest, dismissed the allegations of indiscriminate bombing against the troops. Other than that, the military is disciplined and a professional organization that takes precautionary measures to ensure that it minimizes civilian casualties during operations. General Muktut said all the people that were bombed in the community were bandits, stressing that the military, working with other sister security agencies comprising the Department of State Services, Police, Civil Defense Corps, and locals, gathered accurate intelligence on bandits' locations before embarking on bombings and airstrikes. On the operations, explained that the troops have carried out a series of operations comprising ambushes and raids on the bands on the enclaves. Now, speaking earlier, that's the leader of the team, who is also the Deputy Director of Media Operation, Brigadier General Mohammed Dahiru Abu Mawashi, said the essence of the tour was to give the true perspective of military operational activities and also to avoid manipulation of military operational occurrences by enemies of the Nigerian state to perpetrate their evil act of portraying the country in a bad light. We're going for a very short break. When we come back, we're going to continue with the news. Please stay tuned.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN.
Every day our lives are changed by history.
We are one people, all of us.
Leaders, politics.
Nobody's ambition is what's the blood.
I have fought very firmly. Natural occurrence, war, and the world economy.
I belong to everybody, and I belong to nobody.
ATN covers it all on ATN Politics today.
You're watching the Atlantic Television Global News, and now the rest of the stories. Analysts is calling on the leader of the Yoruba nation to remain focused on the possibility of a more adequate regional security rather than the need for cessation of power by President Tinubu. Speaking on Atlantic blowout, a socio-political analyst, Fine Face, stated that adequate and sustainable regional security will go a long way to reduce the increase in insecurity rate in different regions in the country.
Of improving security to fight against the Fulani herdsmen and their invasion of various land across Nigeria. Various regional governments, blocks came together and put in place certain security architecture. In the Yoruba land where he's talking about now, we have the Amotekun that was put together. The original purpose and security, plan of Amotekun was to protect Yoruba land from the invasion of the Fulani herdsmen. So I think what they need to do is to strengthen the regional security network, the Amotekun in the southwest, to ensure that their land is protected. Then they should support the call for the creation of state police so that can also help to protect their land. Then they should also mobilize within their communities to put in place certain vigilantes and youth groups.
Fine-Face Dunamene also stressed on the reasons for their increase in insecurity rate across the country.
And when you talk about this as a way of addressing headers, maybe secession, so that you cannot, because people invade your land, you want to separate from another country. Even after you are in a different country, let me say the Oduduwa Republic, you are there now. Nigeria is your neighbor. People are still going to cross into your country. You should ask Chad, you should ask Niger what is happening. You should ask the US, the UK, Italy, Middle East, what is happening, people moving, desperate journeys, people are crossing into country, invading country. Ask what is happening between Mexico and the US, Canada, ask this country. So now, Nigeria has well over 14,000, over 1,400 illegal routes into the country that Nigeria as a country has not been able to control. So all of this put together, even if you are in a different country, you are still going to have the issue and the problem we are having. So what they need to do is to really be able to look inwards to address their.
This is coming after the Yoruba self-determination movement led by Sunday Igboho has written an open letter to President Bola Tinubu seeking a peaceful breakaway of Yoruba people from Nigeria. Speaker of the House of Reps, Honorable Abbas Tadujin, has declared a lack of metering has led to revenue losses as this has undermined the power sector. The speaker, who made this known today in Abuja at a power sector stakeholders interactive dialogue and workshop themed Confronting Nigeria's power challenge, a legislative intervention said transition to the multi-tie electricity market is very challenging. He also said the act setting up the National Electricity Regulatory Commission directed the commission to carry out wide consultation before reaching any decision that will affect Nigerians. He said the act should be applied in the interrogation of the price of electricity.
Historically, the Nigerian power sector has grappled with challenges that have stifled its growth and hampered its efficiency. These challenges include inadequate generation capacity, dilapidated infrastructure, as was rightly mentioned by the Right Honorable Chairman, Minister, frequent disruptions in power supply, and financial inefficiencies that have eroded the sector's viability. Moreover, the inadequate metering and the consequent revenue losses that have perpetuated a cycle of debt and underinvestment that have undermined the sector's potential.
Speaker, House of Reps, the Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabu, and the Chairman, House Committee on Power, Honorable Victor Nwokolo, and his counterpart in the Senate, Honorable Enyinaya Abaribe, said the dialogue will address the nation's present issue, which is availability of power, identify key area for improvement, create national consciousness on the state of power generation in Nigeria, which is begging for attention.
We have over 100 uncompleted transmission company projects since 2001. A lot of them are 90%, 80% completion stages. But we need funds to ensure that we complete this project before we even move on to new ones. And unfortunately, for power projects, you cannot energize unless they are 100% completed.
It has become necessary for stakeholders to address the envisaged challenges, which is thrown by challenges facing NICE, and to chart a course for seamless transition to a multi-tier electricity market in Nigeria.
From the time of President Obasanjo, a lot of money was poured into the system. Where are we? And so they now said, oh, well, maybe it's not that. The problem is the law. Because that there's an aspect of the Constitution that says that you cannot do anything if you don't come back. And then we said, okay, fine. And we amended the law. And then we have the Electricity Act 2023, which gives everybody the right to now go in and invest in that sector. And I think where we are today is that having amended that law, having given the states the power, having given anybody who can invest to really come in, and then we now have a multi-tier electricity market. I think the first step within the multi-tier electricity is what we are coming to do here today. So
And now on the business news, Nigerian National Petroleum Limited and its joint venture partner, News Across Exploration and Production, have restated operations at the Awoba unit field with a target of 12 million barrels per day after 2 years of shutdown over crude oil theft. The Chief Corporate Communications Officer Olufemi Shonoye, who discloses in a statement, said the oil fields restarted operations since its restart on April 13, 2024, averaging 8,000 barrels per day, and production is expected to ramp up to 12,000 barrels per day within the next 30 days. The Awoba unit straddles OMLs 18 and 24 in the mangrove swamp south of Port Harcourt River State. Both OML 18 and OML 24 are set up under the NNPC Upstream Investment Management Services, which have steadily contributed an average of 60,000 barrels per day to the nation's production output since their restart. Commenting on the achievement, NNPC Limited Group's Chief Executive Officer Mili Kari attributed the success to the enabling operating environment provided by the Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration and expressed appreciation to all stakeholders, including staff, operators, host communities, government security agencies, and private security contractors who played a pivotal role in achieving the feat. The development comes barely 4 days after the NPPCL announced the commencement of crude oil production in Madu oil field, and the government had vowed to ramp up daily crude oil production to 1.65 production per barrel. And now, still on Atlantic Television News, we are now moving on to the international tidbit. The United Nations Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs says the number of the people displaced by the armed clashes from rural areas in the north of Ethiopia has increased to more than 50,000 since April 13. A statement by the group said most of the displaced people were mostly women, children, and the elderly, and we are seeking refuge in the towns of Kobo and Sekota in the Amhara region. The humanitarian situation is there, with thousands of women and children in need of broad humanitarian support to survive, while government and the humanitarian partners have started providing food and health services, which remain inadequate due to limited resources. The group in a previous report also said, and on the undetermined number of casualties were reported, while many civilians reportedly fled towards neighboring Kobo and Sekota. Now we are moving on to the exciting world of sports. Right now to the exciting world of sports, Premier League club Crystal Palace has joined the list of clubs interested in Rafael Onyedika. Onyedika's impressive display for Club Brugge in the Belgian Premier League has caught the giant Barcelona among the clubs reportedly interested in the Nigeria international. The London club are ready to put in a bid to beat other interested suitors. Onyedika, who joined Club Brugge from Danish outfit FC Midtjylland City, Midtjylland in 2022, is seen as one of the top young players in Europe at the moment, has played 42 games in all competitions this term, scoring 4 goals and providing 2 assists. And now moving on to the entertaining news. Billionaire singer Rihanna said she regrets her nude fashion style. The mother of 2 said whenever she looks back at her bikini fashion, she wonders if she really did that. She also said being a mother has influenced her new fashion sense. This is coming after Rihanna and her partner A&AP Rocky welcomed RZA on May 19, 2022, barely a year after they confirmed their relationship. In August 2023, the couple welcomed their second son, Ride Rods. American rapper Kid Cudi's Coachella says he had an abrupt end after he broke his foot mid-show. This is coming after the hip-hop star jumped off the stage at the Sahara tent and injured himself in the process. He was rushed to the hospital for medical treatment, and he shared on X that he had been discharged from the hospital. He described the accident as crazy, as he noted that he had never broken a bone before. American superstar John Legend has described former United States President Donald Trump as a tired and true dyed-in-the-wool racist. He said Trump had always shown racist tendencies even before he became the fourth president of America, stressing that he barred black people from his facilities years back, and further claimed that the Republican candidate in the upcoming U.S. presidential elections clearly believes in the genetic hierarchy of humanity. He also said Trump's immigration policy suggests racism, while on November 5th, Donald Trump would run against incumbent Joe Biden of the Democratic Party on the platform of the Republican Party in what would be Africa's first rematch election in almost 70 years. And that's it on the global news for tonight. Before we go, let's take a quick look at the major stories. Rivers CP speaks on the fight against criminals disturbing peace. Court adjourns ruling against Yahaya Bello to May 10. FG stops admissions for less than 18-year-old candidates. NNPCL targets crude oil production in Awoba field operation. UN says armed clashes displaced over 50,000 persons in Ethiopia. Crystal Palace links Raphael Onyedika chase. John Legend says Donald Trump is a cold racist, and that's it on the news. I am Angel, Angelic Angel. Thank you so very much for watching. You can follow us on our social media platforms. On Twitter, we have Atlantic TV Net. On Facebook and on YouTube, we have Atlantic Television Network. And on Instagram, we also have Atlantic TV Network. Peace and unity are the pathways to progress. And for me, do have a wonderful night rest. Good evening.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today. Only on ATN.